evening, everybody. My name is Mel, and I am Natty. And I came with my NA attire. Hope you don't mind. Both programs are just as wonderful as the other. You know, I started out at Fred Brown's, out of the darkness into the light. Recovery is about the light and living again, a chance to live again. And I've been fortunate enough to get that chance. Yeah, I went to over here to treatment center, when I decided to, well, I didn't really know if I wanted to get clean or not. What happened was my addiction started at a young age, and it was a cool thing. When you're 14, it's a cool thing to smoke weed and drink beer and as I got older, there came the cocaine, and I'm doing it, but I really don't want it, but I'm doing it anyways, But I like drinking beer and I like smoking weed was my main drug of choice. I became, I had a lot of jobs, I was functioning at jobs, but from looking back, I was always smoking weed on the way to work, lunchtime, after work, drinking my beers after work. It was partying, to me. I wasn't sick. I was partying, go with my friends in her van and go bar hopping, and we had a good time. It was good, I had a lot of good times. Can't say that I didn't, but what happened was in 1994, I got hurt in the port. I was lashing a ship down and I had a bad slip and fall. I used to work out, I was really strong. I played sports, racquetball, all that good stuff, and I'd party in the evening, but I really loved to work out and I was physically active. Once I got hurt, it was all over. I got hurt really bad where the injury lasted really deep across my back for 10 years. So my solution and medicine was drinking. Pain all day, pain all night. I ended up drinking all day, all night, out of work, and my disease progressed. The pain in my back didn't subside for 10 freaking years. So by 10 years, I'm drinking about 52 beers a day, hardly working because I didn't want to go to work drunk, I was drinking way too much, and plus I couldn't leave the house because it became compulsive, obsessive. I lived with my parents, but I was out all the time, but I had enough money to get my own apartment, because I didn't want my parents to see how much I was drinking and smoking weed. It became such a bad habit. I was so sick, I used to think that heroin addicts and people that did harder drugs were worse than me. It's the same thing. Same thing, I hadn't eaten no food for the last 3 years of my drinking, not even a peanut. I remember eating an M&M and it made me sick. My stomach was on fire. They talk about slowly committing suicide. I was slowly committing suicide. I couldn't breathe, walking up the stairs with the 12-pack, and I'd say, I'll be right there after 3 steps. My friend run down and get the beer. Here, come on, I'll see you in 20 minutes. I was suffocating my organs, totally poisoned, in the year 2000, I was trying to make it over. I had a premonition, that something was going to happen. So I was afraid to go out of the house, and as time went on, my mom popped in my head. And I said, oh, shoot, I got to get over to my mom's. I got to get over there. But I'd go and pit stop and I'd start drinking. Then I'd drink over there. Then I'd pass by her house and drink with a friend. Then I'd go to a bar. And then 5 minutes till I'd go to the store and buy more, just to pass out in my car. Back then I passed out and came to. Today I go to sleep and wake up. Anyway, so get this premonition, and I finally make it over to my mom's house. Or no, before that, a friend of mine I was hanging out with, her mom died. And I said, oh, maybe that's what I was feeling, And so I ended up making it to my mom's, and, moms always know, and she knew I had a problem drinking. She knew I got hurt really bad, and she knew that was my relief, and, but she had that unconditional love. Always, she helped pray me into these rooms. She knew I could do it. She knew I could stop. I had stopped one time for like 9 months, but I was still smoking weed. I walked out of work one day, they said, no, I'll have a beer. I said, no, I'll probably start drinking again. Said it out loud, and my head told me, well, you can have 2 because there's 5 of us. I didn't drink that beer fast enough to have that second one. So I went straight to the corner, bought a warm 12-pack, expensive 12-pack, and started drinking again. And that led me to another 6 years till I finally quit in 2002. But I made it over to my mom. She asked me if I wanted to move back in and pay my bills. That was her way of saying, come back, you could stop drinking, pay your bills and you can move out again. I said, yeah, I think I could do that. Act like I really didn't need the help, And so the next day I happened to get this little check because I was broke, I didn't have no money coming in anymore. And I got this little $35 check or something. And when I left my parents' house that night, I said, man, I love my mom and dad. I finally made it over here. I'm going to come tomorrow, And so I woke up, called my dad. He answered. He said, oh, your mother's asleep. I said, well, I'm going to come bring dinner today, hoping that I could make it over there again. And the next phone call I got was my mom was in an accident. She had this brain aneurysm going on for a couple of years, and she had a massive heart attack, and she went on life support, and we ended up waiting for my brothers to come from out of state, and we had to pull the plug. So I didn't see my mom ever again. I tried to stop drinking, during her services. I was present, the shame and guilt and the shock of everything, I was there. But then after that, the shame and guilt hit me, and I drank another 2 years, until finally my dad let us live in the house there. And I was there one night and I was breaking a bunch of shit with a bat, snapping. I was angry my mom died, angry that my stomach hurt because I couldn't drink no more, angry because I didn't have no money, angry that my dad got reeled in by this lady. I was just angry at everything, because the drugs make us angry eventually if we're doing too much like that, and my sister called my dad over, and I was going after him with the bat, and she had to push him out of the house, and she said, I'll handle it. Me and her struggled for the bat. We broke a window. I didn't remember the next day when I came to. So I said, oh shit, I don't want to wake up all bloodied up, that with my family all bludgeoned, because when we're under the influence, we're pretty strong, and I don't want to wake up harming my family. I love my family, and so I made a decision that morning. I used to have this card from when I went to the physical, and she said, how much do you drink? I said, oh, about 12 pack a day. Oh, that's way too much. She gave me a card. It was through Kaiser. And I always kept that card on my desk because I always wanted to quit drinking, but I didn't, I wasn't ready, but in the back of my mind, I liked those little 9 months when I wasn't drinking, even though I wasn't totally clean. And I called my dad and apologized. I didn't remember. I was in a blackout, but I'm going to go get some help to stop drinking, Dad. He said, you know what? That's good, babe. It's about time. Totally supported me the whole way, and so I got myself into that detox, within the week. And I had prayed before that and told God, can you just help me have two? He said, no, I'll be here when you're ready to have none. So I start with two, and then shit, I'm buying an 18-pack, but I was trying, and God was looking after me. I truly believe that, so I went over to detox and from not eating no food or anything, the first thing I had was a juice, and I could feel the juice just go through me. It's like, wow, that felt good. That felt good. Like that was the first sense of healing that I felt. Like, oh, wow, that was good. Maybe I'll try another one, and then I started beginning with the Jello, and I started to feel those hunger pains, so I started to eat. I went to sleep in that detox, I was a little like standoffish, with people, and they said, get in line, medication time. I said, what medication? Oh, do you want a Valium? I said, I don't want no Valium. The girl behind me said, you should have gave it to me. I said, get your own. It's like, I'm not here for you, but I'm going to tell you when they picked me up to meet me to come to Fred Brown's, I had my car with me. And I walked out and my disease talked to me and said, well, maybe you can go down the street and get a beer before they come. I reached in my pocket. I had 35 cents. I looked at it and I said, well, that's not enough, And then I checked my car, knowing I didn't have any, still was looking. Maybe there's one hidden under the seat. No. I said, well, maybe when I go drop my car, there's some in my closet. My disease was still talking to me, and he shows up and he goes, well, when you go home, you can't go in the house. You have to give somebody your keys. I said, really? I said, okay, because I knew I didn't have anything. I said, well, I guess it's time to surrender. Let's do this. When I got to Fred Brown's, I was welcomed, and I had they put me with a counselor named Vicky, and she was down to earth. She was cool as heck, man, and I surrendered and I gave the program my all. Especially breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I was ready when it was time, because I could eat again, and they said, what are we having? Hot dogs. Everybody say again. I said, I'll take one. I didn't care, I was able to eat, and I didn't get no visitors, but I was okay with that, but I started hitting somebody's cigarette. Hey, let me hit that cigarette. Oh, let me hit that cigarette. They said, you need to buy your own, right? So I put down the alcohol and drugs, but I actually picked up cigarettes, and because I smoked cigarettes when I drank, but I didn't like the nicotine hangover. I settled for the alcohol hangover only, which is it's addiction, and then I started drinking coffee. I drank coffee a lot, to this day. I limit my coffee, to 3 cups because I was drinking it all day long, no water. So finally, 20 years later, I'm getting dizzy and shit. It's like, oh shit, I need to start drinking water. I hadn't had water all the time I drank. I hadn't had water all the time I drank beer, drank coffee, no water. So today I'm conscious of the disease of addiction. You know, it comes in any form. You know, this isn't my only hat like this. What does that tell you? Addiction. I'll take that color and that color and that color and that color. You know, I have to say, whoa, slow down. I'm conscious of it, but yet I do it still sometimes. You know, I want that shirt, but I'm gonna get every color. You know, when I was taking care of my dad, I got to take care of my dad being clean. You know, I took care of him at his house. He got dementia. I ended up moving in my house, and I took off work. That the job that I didn't lose. You know, God was watching out for me. You know, I was manipulating doctor's notes, you know, when I was using. And then I was still out of work. I didn't go to work for a year. You know, my disease told me, oh, tomorrow. I was in fear of the shame. They're going to say, oh, where's Mel been? Or who's that? You know, so I didn't go. And plus, that's where I drank with some hall buddies, you know, and I stood away, concentrated on meetings, hanging out with people that were clean, you know, did conventions, all that fun stuff, because they are fun. Meetings, I really enjoy meetings. Thank you for sharing, Patrick. A pretty heavy story, you know. Shoot, that's my train of thought. But anyways, my dad, back to my dad. I took care of my dad. You know, I took off work and I was with him 24/7, you know, and that was the biggest gift I got in recovery, although he died. But to take care of him was almost like a living amends to my mom, that I'm going to be there for my dad, you know. And today I'm part of my family. I have good relationships with my family because they didn't want me around at the end, because I was always angry and starting fights. You know, they wouldn't invite me to places, which I didn't know until later, but that's okay, you know, because I don't blame them. You know, who wants to be around somebody who's out of control? You know, I don't, you know. So back then, you know, what I choose today is to live in a world of not taking and be taken. I kind of wrote notes to be taken, but a world of giving and to give and be given back, because God gives me the courage, God gives me the strength, and God loves me. You know, it took me a long time to get over the guilt and shame of losing my mom. It took me about 19 years, you know, till I finally accepted that I was in my disease and I could not control what I was doing and my behavior. You know, I wanted to be there, but I couldn't be there. You know, I was sharing at a meeting the other day that, you know, because I had a partner that was in program, and she ended up dying in 2013, and I hadn't been in a relationship since then, so I barely. I shared at a meeting. I said, "Oh, by the way, I just want to share that I'm in a relationship," and everybody's like, "Oh, really? Oh, good, good." I said, "With God." You know, and they all kind of chuckled, and it's true, because my conscious contact with God all these years has been kind of scattered. You know, today I'm going to pray. I'm not going to give my self time to meditate, but I just recently started working the steps about 8 years ago, because I was abstinent. I was dry for a lot of years, you know, and I did have a couple close calls where I'm holding 2 Heinekens. I have a pipe in my mouth, but I played the tape through and remembered everybody in the rooms and how far I've come, and I didn't use. And it's a miracle I didn't, because I wasn't doing anything. You know, I was taking care of my partner. I was working a lot, you know, work. I had to carry the house, and I worked nights. So there were day meetings. I just couldn't get up and do them, you know. And it's a miracle that I'm standing here today, and I didn't relapse. you know. And I'm grateful for that. So I'm practicing my conscious contact with God, you know, and I'm feeling a lot better, you know, I'm feeling a lot more happier, you know, by doing that. It's like, whoa, this is pretty nice, you know, it's good feeling. I'm giving God some of my time. I'm giving back to God what He freely gave me, you know. I'm grateful for Fred Brown's, you know, Roxy, so grateful that she had the house at, you know, and they tried to send me far away to get clean. And I said, you know what? I changed my mind on that one. I said, I want to get clean in my hood because I want to get to know people where I live, you know, if I'm going to do these things, this thing, you know. I remember going to meetings when I was new, you know, like you guys, and you know what, the room is full and that's wonderful. Got some empty seats, call your friends. Come on, right? Because we all deserve a chance, another chance at life. You know, I heard not too long ago that they said I'm that I'm living we're living we can live two lifetimes. When we were doing that stuff, and now we can do this, you know. I know a couple people here, about 3 people that I see, and then Roxy, of course, and you know, Sherilyn. But they told me, I said, do we have to do these meetings forever? And somebody said, yeah. And I stood there and I said, oh, you know, but then we were doing meetings and I like the meetings. I like speaker meetings. I like the unity, you know, and to get to know people today, it's wonderful. You know, I work, like I said, I work in the port and I deal with truck drivers. I get to talk all day and just have a good time, you know, and just be happy. You know, I crack jokes all the time and I'm always funning around, and before I wasn't like that. I was like, what the F are you looking at? You know, what are you looking at? I remember being in a bar and the man says, excuse me, that's my beer. I said, no, it isn't. It's mine. You know, and he goes, no, but that's my beer. And I said, no, it isn't. You know, and I'm getting pissed off, you know. And he goes, hello, that's my beer. I said, is it your beer? And I crushed it right in front of him. It's like, oh, dang it. You know, but but it took me a while to work through my anger too, my anger issues. You know, these character defects they talk about of control. You know, procrastination. Um, they used to call me 5150 at work, and I could say just shit a few years ago. I'm pulling up and I'm saying you F you F you F you and F you. And one guy's just shaking his head, and I said, tomorrow I'm gonna wear my beard that says F all y'all. And I got back in my truck, and then when I drove away, I said, oh shit. That wasn't very cool, you know? And I said, oh shoot. But by working the steps, I've become aware of all these things, you know. I don't have to be like that, you know. I like 5150, you know, kind of cool name, but I even had on my license plate on my truck with chalk 5150. That's insane, you know. But I've learned around here that we share good days with people and we share sorrowful days too. Because when I lost my partner, I happened to start going to meetings again, you know, because I went from nights to days. And right before my partner died, we started going to the meetings, you know, and it actually got me back in the rooms, you know, and I think that was God, you know. And I leaned heavy on the people, my friends and people in the meetings, even people I didn't know, and shared about the pain and the shock and what was going on. You know, we don't only share the good things, we share the bad, you know, and we're never alone. I've learned that we're never alone, you know. We're all children of recovery and we all belong here. If we're sitting here, that's a good thing. I have a niece out there that's caught up, and I'm trying to help her out and guide her, but we're powerless over somebody else's addiction. All we can do is pray for them. Like the predecessors and all of us pray for people that are still using. You all pray for me to make it in these rooms, and I feel very fortunate, um, so today I have a sponsor and I trust her. I try to tell her not tell her about the cats I fostered. I try to foster 10 little cats. Bottle fed them, calling myself auntie, thinking I'm going to get rid of them. Then I started calling myself mommy. Then I named them. It was all over. Addiction comes in any form. I have 29 cats. I am addicted to animals. I have 6 dogs. Codependency is one of my defects too, that I'm working on. Take my nieces out. I'm going to drop them at the pound because we can't take him to our new place. Oh, bring him over here. Codependent, Oh, gee, this is my recovery. I have to work every day, Without recovery, I have nothing, steps, I have commitment, I've had service commitments. They even voted me vice chair of area. It's like, what? Don't be railroading me. I winged it along. How do I do this? Just kind of went with the flow, but I learned a couple of things, and there's tools around here, I still go to 2 meetings a week, because I work full time, have all these animals to take care of, and I love recovery. I love it. I truly love it. I do all the functions, all the bingos, I have fun in recovery. I probably have done more fun stuff in recovery than I ever did in my lifetime. Besides the Disneyland trips we went to when we were young, before I start using, but enough was enough. Enough was enough. I'm still gonna go play racquetball, by the way. Got a couple rackets. I've been thinking heavy about it, because my neck kind of stood so messed up still, my collarbone, but it's like what I got to lose, Love playing racquetball. That adrenaline rush. Ooh, boy, that was good too. So I'm just conscious of my recovery more so today than I was 9 years ago. I have a really good job, that I didn't lose. And I meet a lot of people every day. I'm surprised I could think today because my job is a lot of numbers, a lot of direction. I give direction. Sometimes I feel like I control shit, but I just give direction, yeah. Can't do it without God though. And you guys, you guys are we're it. We're it. We got a whole lot of life ahead of us, hopefully, because we use a lot, we can get sick in our later years. And then I've been forgetting people's names, and it's like, shit, am I gonna get wet brain? I'm all like paranoid. I forget this guy's name who told me his name yesterday, and then I'm freaking out like, oh my God, I'm losing my memory. And then the next guy comes and I haven't seen him in a long time. Hey George, how's it going? It's like, oh, maybe I'm not, you know, so, I don't know. You know, my sister's recently got clean. You know, she's got 2 years. That's my twin, you know, and I take her where I go, meetings, you know, and it's good. You know, I'm just waiting for my niece, you know, I'm hoping she makes it here. Because you know what? That fentanyl's out there and it scares me too. You know, it's scary. You know, I wait because she's living in my backyard, you know, and she's got a tent back there and it's I haven't yet set my boundary with that. It's hard when you love somebody and you want to try to steer them right, but then it's tugging on your heart like the codependency, wanting to take care of her, but trying to steer, and it's hard because she lived with inside my house for 5 years. So I finally had to tell her, you got to go, you know, and I haven't yet told my sponsor that she's in my backyard. That's a secret. And they say secrets are not good. So now it's really weighing on me, like it's scaring me, like the losing my mind that she's got to go, you know, she's got to go, you know, and I'm struggling with that today. You know, it's a struggle. And I know once I do it and stick to my boundary that it'll help me, you know. And I gotta become honest because it's an honest program. You know, it's an honest program, and that's my little damn secret right now. She found out about the 10 cats. I finally told her about that. It took a while, but I told her, and she goes, and then because some of my cats got sick with the feline parvo with some mats that my sister gave me, and I lost 4 of my cats. And it slipped out because I couldn't hold it in no more. It just came out, you know, and we got through it, you know, we talked about it and stuff. And she just said, no more cats. I said, okay. You know, so I'm really working on that. And so my niece is my next challenge. But I keep saying the serenity prayer and asking God for guidance with this because I don't know what to do. I know what to do, but I have to gain the courage to do so, you know, and the wisdom to know the difference so I can have my serenity, you know, so God can grant me that serenity because I'm living in insanity, you know. And then on the flip side, I worry about her when she's not there. And when I see her, she bugs me. It's like, you are sick, you know, you are sick, but it's part of the disease, you know. So you know, I hang around with people that don't use, you know, I have a couple of friends that I hang out with, but they're really good friends, you know, and they drink and that's their stuff. I've learned that to let people have their stuff and not get involved and not worry about it and not try to control, you know. I gotta just take care of myself, you know. Anyways, I hope I made some sense. And I wasn't too nervous. I think I could be a circuit speaker. And just kidding. No, no. You know what? I'll cut with this. I was thinking, you know, that man, they have speakers all over the place. They've never asked me to speak. And then look at Nancy called me. I said, "Oh shoot, be careful what you wish for." Right? But I feel that now that I'm working the steps that I'm able to share now. Because before I'd say, oh, I hope they don't call me. I hope they don't call me. Because I felt like I didn't have anything to give. But even then, being new, I did have something to give, you know? So I wish you all a happy recovery. And I hope you stay because we don't want to see you kick the bucket, you know. And it's not just the disease that will take you out. It could be the surroundings and the behavior. You know, like I could have killed my dad and ended up in jail, you know, bludgeon my family. So thank you all very much.